Good morning, everyone. I must say that we are extremely happy because I was somehow convinced that half of the auditorium would not come today because of the weather. And we are happy that we didn't have snow this morning. And even if it's extremely cold, you are all here. And this is really wonderful news for us. So welcome to this Change Forum. This is an important moment for me because this Change Forum is somehow a moment that is managed by the MBA, Change and Innovation, that I will have to say some words about it. That's going to be my role. To share issues about change management and new perspectives on change management. And what are the thoughts, the research, the consulting practice on change management, what are the new ideas, the new challenges in this discipline that is so important more and more now in organizations. What are the new ideas? And this is a way for us. In fact, those who are really lucky to be here, it's us, the four of us. I will introduce my guests in a couple of minutes because it's for us a way to discuss these issues, having you here sharing that with us, and getting also your feedback about these discussions. So, let me remind the name of this Change Forum. The number 1 and number 2 relationship in corporate management, how to manage the vital yet conflicting relationship between the entrepreneur and the facilitator to ensure sustainable change. This is a long one, a long title, but I think everything is there. The idea is to say how in corporations can we have this uncommon marriage between the two roles that need each other, but they have some struggle working each other correctly or in a synergistic way, in such a way that it makes change be sustainable over time. And I would like to tell you how I came to this idea. I was about 2 or 3 months ago having a discussion. It was during a coaching session with an alumnus who's here. Where are you, Renaud? You are here, okay, with Renaud. And Renaud described himself in his organization as being the number 2. And I loved this idea of number 2. And when we say number 2, it necessarily means there is a number 1 somewhere there. And he described himself as being a change agent in his company. And he talked to me about the importance, yet the difficulty, to work with his sponsor, so to say, his manager, and the number 1, in making change happen over time. And this is how I arrived to create this idea and to use or to ask some people I know that are very well knowledgeable to join me for this Change Forum. And here we are, the 4 of us. I would like to say a word about, give me a second, here, about my guests. First of all, we will have Janine Lamarche talking to you after me. Janine Lamarche is a senior consultant manager. She is a woman, and this was an important issue for me also. For those of you who know me, you know how much importance I give to this, to try to find as many women as possible in this type of jobs and positions that we teach you. She's a woman and she has been practicing change management in the US for 35 years. What does this mean? It means that she started to be a consultant in change management in a time where nobody talked about change management. It was a totally unknown area, yet a necessary one. And so she's a pioneer on this. And she has been coming from Chicago for this session today and to meet you. We will have then, our second guest is Bruno Couli. Bruno Couli is someone I know for many years now, and he's an entrepreneur. And he will be the representative of the number 1. He is a CEO of the company Auto Escape. I won't introduce him now, he will do it himself. But he's going here to talk to you and to us about what does change management mean from the number 1 perspective. We have then Raphaël Zaccardi. Raphaël is a top manager in Caterpillar France, a leading company in France. And he is extremely sensitive to change management. And he plays the role most of the time of the number 2, the change agent. He's going to share with us his experience about this. And then my role here will be to play the facilitator during the day, and also sometimes the devil's advocate, to provoke a little bit our guests and be sure that they tell us the reality of the field and share everything with us. So the program, you have it in your little folder. We're going now to have some introduction. Then Janine will talk to us about these 2 roles and the role played by the top managers in change management. Bruno Couli will talk about his experience as number 1. Raphaël Zaccardi will talk to us about his experience as number 2. We will then have a break of half an hour in the same restaurant where we were before for the coffee break. And the second part of the morning will be around a round table. And we are going to play some play roles managed by Janine. And we are going to conclude this morning and have them a little buffet, a snack together. Networking here, it's also an issue. So I will try to give you some time to get along, all of you. I know it's important for all of you. So before I start, let me give you some work. Those who know me know that you never come to any class with me without having some work to do. And in the little folder you got, you have a couple of information that I will need you to look anytime you can this morning during the break time would be ideal. The 2 things I need you to do for us will be the first one to complete. There is a small form, a very short form about yourself, name and your function, your company, so that we can keep contact with all of you. And you just leave this page outside. There's a box for this. You get, we'll show you. And the second one is, we have been working in the MBA team about the brochure of our MBA Change and Innovation. And this is how I will take 2 minutes to talk to you about this program. And the first brochure, it's the blue one, the Blue Planet one, I call it. It's one that we did 2 years ago. And then the second one, which is the characters brochure, where you have 2 characters, is the one that we have been creating recently. And I have put a very short questionnaire, and I would like you to take some time to tell us, just to share with us, your impressions on the 2 brochures, because we need to fine-tune them. And since we were ready with the brochure and you were all here today, we said we are going to use our auditorium for our purposes, okay? So this is the questions I've asked to you, so there are very little questions about this for the 2 brochures. It's just your first impression that counts, and that will really help us to have some feedback of people. I see you as all potential candidates, and many of you are doing the MBA, and many of you are alumni of the MBA. But some of you are not, and you could be potential candidates, so your feedback can be extremely valuable. A couple of words about the MBA. We have the MBA, it's a general MBA, but it's somehow specialized on change and innovation management. And it is an 11-year-old MBA now in this school. It is somehow recognized. We have here, for instance, Challenge last year was ranking, so to say, the MBA among other very good MBAs in France. So we have some recognition. It is a very intensive program where you spend 1 year really not only about learning knowledge in management and business, but also about learning your emotional intelligence, your integration capacity, your entrepreneurial and facilitation skills in the business project and the consulting project, your leadership skills and your personal, let's say, evolution will be also one of the key issues during the program. I give you this information so that you know a little bit about the program when you will be looking at the brochures. Who are the people attending this MBA? Most of them are engineers, but not only. We also have many other professions. And they come, for half of them, from France, and for the rest of them, this is all cumulate over 10 years from different parts of the world. So it's quite international from this perspective. We celebrated last year the 10th anniversary of this MBA, which was extremely important for us. It was a symbol, so to say, of the solidity of the program. And I took these pictures, not only because I found that nice, but also because here Chin, he came from China exclusively for the celebration. And here Faisal, he came from Pakistan to attend the celebration too. So this is to tell you that something happens when you are in this school, which is related to a loyalty that develops between you and us, which is something we value extremely much. But let's come back now to the issue of the Change Forum, which is about these two roles that are so important in change management. And what I wanted to show you first, it's a little movie. Okay, we all know people around us behaving this way, and this is why change management is so important. So coming back to our subject, it means that if the present state in change management is usually the why and the reason why we need to change, we always have, as we saw in the little movie, the future state, which is what we want to achieve, the vision. And the whole stake here is to manage the change in such a way that the process is virtuous to make it happen. And then here we need to have successful change. We need to embrace both entrepreneurial and facilitation skills. Entrepreneurial to have that vision, okay, to believe in it and to be sure that it is business connected, that it is related to the market environment. But we also need those facilitation skills to make people buy it, to make people go through the process and buy it. And those are the number one and the number two that need to cooperate synergistically for this process to happen. And when we look at these two characters, what we can say is that they have huge differences. If we look at the number one, as we said, usually you have there someone who looks like this. He has an entrepreneurial mindset. He's business-oriented. He or she, of course. When I say he, is really neutral. He has an internal locus of control. What does this mean? It's those people who really believe that they can control everything that happens. That it's a matter of will and of work, hard work, to make things happen, okay? They have a high self-esteem and sometimes going into a high ego too. This might be an issue also. And they have a strong need for self-accomplishment. So here we have these people pushing a lot for the future. And the number two are people who tend to be a little bit different. They usually have an integrative mindset, meaning a kind of people mindset. How to make that everyone goes into the boat. They are emotionally intelligent. It means that they need to work on their ego and they need to conduct some self-development to understand the emotional reactions that happen all time long during the change process. They have the capacity to use the emerging situation, meaning everything is not preconceived. Things are happening while we do things, and they are able to see them, listen to them, and use them properly. And they have a high adaptation and adaptability to the situation. But the good news here, and I'm finishing with this, my introduction, is that they do have some common things. They are mainly very, very autonomous, both of them. It means that they are able to use, to have a project in mind and just to make it happen because they believe in it. They don't need third persons. They have, sorry for the second one, because the number two, I'm wondering if they have that in internal locus of control. I didn't change that. They both accept uncertainty, and this is one of the key issues, I think. It's the fact that can relate them. They both like and at least accept the fact that everything cannot be predicted and that the future can be the result of something that we decide. They have a moderate risk-taking. Sometimes we think that entrepreneurs have a very are very low risk averse and they love risk. Research has shown that those who succeed have a moderate risk-taking mindset. And they have, that has been proven by research, a very high IQ. Intelligence is related to the capacity to be either an entrepreneur or a facilitator in the change management.